Welcome back to this already the final segment of today's Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Bryant, talking to you about you and your business. You know, we always like to get Chris Kidd on the program, bringing fascinating stories from the world of sports and business and money, and as they all combine together. He's got an interesting coaching practice with Chris Kidd at chriskidd.com. That's KIDD.com there. And helping people in taking their finances to the next level. And you're very patient, very wise beyond your years, and love the work you do for others. But I really enjoy as well the interviews you bring, and today looks like an excellent one. So real quickly, tell us a little more about what you do, Chris Kidd, and then introduce us to your guests.
Well, like you said, I work with individuals, business owners, athletes, all kinds of people from all walks of life, and work on helping them take their finances to the next level, whether it means getting out of debt, just learning to manage their finances, or whether it's someone who just signed a huge contract and came into more money than they've ever seen in their life, and they need to know how to handle it so that they don't blow it like so many others. And then also, those who are dealing with investments and stuff, a lot of times don't understand, how things really work, so they just kind of turn it over to somebody and hope that things work out. I teach them how to be able to understand it, so whether they want to manage it on their own, they can, or if they have somebody that they're working with, an advisor or something, I teach them how that they can get a whole lot more out of their advisor that they're working with if they can understand things and be a little bit more sophisticated. So
absolutely. And your guest today?
Yeah, my guest today is Ken Ungar. He's the founder and president of U.S. Sports Advisors, and he's the author of the book Ahead of the Game, What Every Athlete Needs to Know About Sports Business. And we're excited to have him on, so good to have you on, Ken.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Real quickly, kind of give us an elevator speech about yourself and your background.
Sure. I have been in sports marketing for about 17 years. I was formerly the chief of staff of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the CMO of IndyCar, and founded this agency, U.S. Sports Advisors, in 2006. We're a full-service sports and entertainment marketing agency. We work in the NFL, the NBA, motorsports, and a variety of other sports, but our passion is helping athletes really make the most of their time in professional sports and connect with fans.
Yep, and if you go to ussportsadvisors.com, you'll be very impressed by the list of clients there. Go right ahead there, Chris.
Well, Ken, I know there's a lot of people that get into anything that's really sports-related that have a sports background. Did you grow up playing sports, or kind of what drew you to the sports industry?
Well, actually, I didn't have the skill to grow up playing sports, but I grew up loving sports, and it goes all the way back to my dad taking my brother and I. I grew up in New York to Mets games and Jets games and New York Rangers, and I grew up loving all kinds of sports. So when I had the opportunity, I jumped at the chance to get into the sports industry. It's just something I love because, you get to watch people fulfill their dreams and strive to be better than they thought they could be. There's so many great stories in sports. I just love being part of the industry now.
Tell us about your book.
Well, the book Ahead of the Game was born from the fact that I had worked with a lot of athletes who were expected to be, the best on the field and spent their entire career training to excel on the football field or the track, or the baseball field. And once they got there, they were hit with all these expectations that they would know how to manage their career and deal with the media, sometimes find sponsors, and do all those things that a business person would be capable of doing, but they were never trained to do. So what I did is back in 2007, began writing a book that would really be addressing the issue of how to teach those athletes how to do that, how to find a sponsor, how to speak to the media, how to use social media to connect with fans, because I found there was no other resource like that for the athlete. So I wanted to create that primer, that Bible for them, so to speak, of how to do those business things.
That's a great resource. I know the social media aspect, is really huge, and that's really misused so much today. What advice do you have on athletes dealing with social media?
Yeah, the first thing is be authentic. Be yourself. I love when our athlete clients give fans a glimpse behind the curtains. What it's like to train, what it's like to be a part of a team. What they're thinking before a big game or even after a big game. How they feel, the excitement or the disappointment. But be authentic, because people, fans want to connect with those things. On the flip side, you can get in trouble, and real quick on Twitter. At 140 characters, you can kill your career. So we often tell our athlete clients, when in doubt, don't. So
that's good advice.
Yeah. Do you actually handle some of the Twitter for the athletes themselves, so that they, because we know a lot of, I'll even confess, some of my social media is done by support people of the price of business. I don't do all of my social media. I'm assuming athletes are similar.
Yeah, it really runs the gamut. So there are some of our athlete clients that we do their social media, and when we do that, they're guiding it. So it's not us putting words in their mouth. They're telling us, what they want to express. We just take the opportunity to either, craft it in words and post it on social media. Then we have other clients who, especially now, if you're in your early 20s, you grew up with social media. You had a cell phone from middle school on, and you know how to text and post. So in that case, we advise clients on the type of content that fans want to see, and they go ahead and post it themselves. So it really depends on the comfort of the athlete.
Well, Ken, go ahead, Kevin.
No, I was going to say very good. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I wanted you to talk a little bit about an event that we have coming up, about a week or so out, the Super Bowl. What kind of business does that bring to the hosting city, and everything that it does for the whoever might own the stadium, if it's being held at a host stadium, like I believe it was last year that they played at the Cowboys Stadium, or the year before. Talk a little bit about that.
It's the Super Bowl is big business, and it starts off. It's the marquee event in sports in this country. Pretty much life comes to a stop. It's tantamount to a national holiday, and there are a few sports, if any, in this country can claim that type of influence on society. So, first of all, it's a big event. So if that big event is you're fortunate enough to have it come to your city, the first thing you can expect is tremendous media value. So, for instance, when the Super Bowl came to my current hometown of Indianapolis back in 2012, the city of Indianapolis enjoyed $8 million in earned media. And what that means is that the city would have had to buy $8 million in advertising to get the equivalent value that it got for free just by being mentioned, next to the Super Bowl. So a host city gets that right off the bat. Then there's what's called a halo effect, and the halo effect is when you successfully pull off the big event, and there's nothing bigger than the Super Bowl. Your city enjoys a halo effect with meeting planners, convention organizers, companies thinking of relocating to your city, that you're a city that can handle the biggest events successfully, that you have the sophistication to be able to host, the biggest sponsors, marquee athletes, celebrities. They're all able to come to your town, and you're able to create an event that's worthy of national and international exposure. That halo effect often results in dollar impact in the future. You look at Phoenix. The last time it hosted the Super Bowl back in 2008, it had a CEO forum where they invited 50 influential CEOs from around the country to attend that year's Super Bowl. And they spoke about the virtues of Phoenix and the state of Arizona. Well, as a result, subsequent to that Super Bowl, there were over 1,000 new jobs created in the state of Arizona, and over $100 million in economic impact as a result of the activities that went on around that Super Bowl with those CEOs. Mm-hmm. So it's really incredible the economic impact that Super Bowl can create for your community.
I have got to wrap it up with that. It was a great segment, as always. Ken Ungar, He's with U.S. Sports Advisors, USSportsAdvisors.com. I certainly encourage you to check out his book. And then Chris Kidd, and he's at ChrisKidd, KIDD.com. He's a regular contributor on the Price of Business. Thanks to both of you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
You bet. When we come back tomorrow, we're going to have much more for you. Do want to remind you that the best content here, including this interview, shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. Spend it wisely right here on this station.
This show brought to you in part by Efficient Wealth Management, Chris Kidd Enterprises, and the ABC Group.